What up, what up, what up? Let me get a sound check, sound check, sound check. Make sure everything's sounding good. Should I turn this light on or no? Let me see if I can find it. There it is. Since we all blue over here. There we go. Dim it a little bit. There we go. Alright. We good. We Gucci. We Gucci. First of all, what up? Beautiful Sunday. Still not much to do. Still can't go outside too much. So I promise you I'll be coming at you with this Ravens all-time 25. So wasn't doing nothing, so let's get into it. Let's get into it. First of all, G West was up. Gamer God, yo, J Will 501 was up. C Iron Addict was good. Music Fave Sense was up. Jonathan 94 Fresh, I see you. K Reeves 86 Ghosts. Random was up. YPC Dro was up. Hey, let's get into it. It ain't gonna be long. I'm gonna keep you about 10 to 15 minutes. Then we're gonna ride out. So Ravens put out their all-time top 25 team, and I didn't even know they put it out until I started seeing the stuff about somebody being snubbed. Then I went back and looked at it. So this was probably about 2 weeks ago or whatever, but I'm just getting around to it because, you know, I took a little time off. But I'm back. First off, all-time QB. No question. No question. Freaky L. Now, a lot of people want to debate this. Matter of fact, let's just read what it say first. Jackson edged out Joe Flacco in the tightest vote of the team. Jackson has clearly had the most regular season success of any quarterback in Ravens history, starting his career with a 19-3 record, breaking the single season rushing record for a quarterback and becoming the second unanimous MVP in league history. He's just 23 years old, but has changed the game in his position. Flacco has a Super Bowl ring and was voted one of the best playoff quarterbacks of his era, but he was never voted to a Pro Bowl. Now, pros and cons for this. Pro for Flacco. He had a Super Bowl ring. He had an amazing Super Bowl run in 12, I think. I think that was 2012. I mean, amazing run. Like, lights out run in 2012. Got paid. Then, now, with that being in Joe's defense, a lot of money wasn't spent on weapons because he got all the money. So, you know, you got an agent, Steve Smith. You got other agent receivers around him. You never had a really solid running back other than Rice until he did what he did and got kicked out. So, you know, wasn't a lot of talent around Joe because they couldn't afford it because he got all the money after that Super Bowl run. But I still think Freaky L is the best quarterback we've had ever. Just off these 3 seasons. And I know Joe got a Super Bowl, and I know people probably going to disagree. But this dude is... This is third year in the league. Dude, 23. Is he 20? He's 23. MVP. Hadn't won a playoff game yet, though. So, you know, that's yet to be seen. Joe got the playoff resume. Lamar has the regular season resume. So, that's, you can kind of go back and forth. But like they said, it was the tightest vote of the team. I personally would have voted for Lamar just off what he's done at the position. That's my 2 cents on it. So I agree with this. Lamar Jackson, the all-time Ravens QB. Let me see what y'all talking about in the chat box about it. We have too many good players. 53. Never had an MVP. Right. We never had an MVP. Right. This is Lamar. His regular season is through the roof. Joe's playoff run, that one playoff run was through the roof. But I still think, even though Joe managed the game and didn't throw interceptions, but I still think our defense was lights out that year too. Especially once Ray got hurt, and when he came back, it was a different squad. Because I'm not mistaken, he was a wild card that year. But moving on. Next one, it says it's Jamal Lewis. Jamal Lewis is the team's all-time leading rusher with 7,801 yards. He posted the second most single-season rushing yards in NFL history at the time with the unreal 2003 season in which he roamed for 2,066 yards. His impact as a rookie when he ripped off 1,364 yards was instrumental in winning the Super Bowl. Was that 35? Super Bowl 35, I think. And Lewis' physicality came to define the Ravens' rushing attack. This is probably an obvious choice also because of what happened to Ray Rice. I don't think Ray would have gotten maybe a 2,000-yard season, but he could have consistently hit 1,300, 1,400, 1,500 yards. Consistently. And I don't even know Ray's stats, so maybe he would. I just think he was that type of runner. And maybe I'm just got purple blinders on, but I think Ray was a consistent 12 to 1,500 yard guy and had, depending on his longevity, because I don't really remember Ray being hurt a lot. I don't. Correct me if I'm wrong in the chat box. I don't really remember Ray being hurt, but he could have been. But Jamal is the obvious choice. 1, because of the 2,000 yard season. 2, because of longevity. And 3, because the only guy that probably would have even came close to chasing those numbers and being with the team that long is probably Ray Rice, and then he's gone. Now, I do think we just drafted a guy that could threaten it. I do. I think we just drafted a guy that could threaten it, and that's J.K. Dobbins. I think J.K. Dobbins could threaten this Ravens all-time leading rush. Don't mean he could take Jamal off this list, but I think he could threaten that 7,801 yards. I really do. So, but I'm still cool with the 2 picks so far, Jamal Lewis and Lamar Jackson. Moving on. Fullback. Vontae Leach. Fullback from 2011 to 2013. Leach was the hammer in the Ravens rushing attack that helped win the Super Bowl. Shoot, which one this is? There's Roman numerals messing me up. So that's something. Is it 7? Is it 37? No, not 37. I don't know. Whatever it was. The 2001 Super Bowl. with his physicality at the point of attack paved holes for Ray Rice and earned Leach 2 Pro Bowls trips in the purple and black. He was also a very sneaky, effective receiver. Leach was beloved by his teammates and the fans alike, who loved calling out Leach at M&T Stadium. I don't disagree with this one either. Now, I do have a question. Was it Vontae Leach that closed out Old Cowboy Stadium? The last time, I think it was the last time Baltimore played in Dallas, which was the last game in Cowboy Stadium. Our fullback broke off a long run. Was that Vontae Leach or was that somebody else? Flacco had Reed, Suggs, and Lewis. We still want AFC North that year 2. Down year with Wade, both Ray Rice and broke 2. Okay. I got you, Jonathan 94. I got you. So as far as Leach, if Juszczyk would have stayed, he probably could have been in the battle for this. And then I'm trying to think, do I want to put our current fullback in this category? I don't know if I want to put him in this category yet, because Leach did catch a good amount of balls off the backfield, and we hadn't asked Ricard to do that yet. So I think I'm good. That was McClain. Okay, appreciate it. That was McClain. McClain was number 33, I think. I think McClain was 33. Let me see. Ray Rice had 2 seasons with 2K all-purpose yards. I know, because I was playing fantasy football back then too. And Ray Rice kind of helped me out with some stuff, catching the ball and receiving. But the first 3 picks, I agree with Vontae Leach, Lamar Jackson, and Jamal Lewis. Let's move on. Receivers. So this is when the controversy started. So all the controversy that I picked up on off Twitter when I didn't know they had made this list was leaving off Derek Mason. But let's go through these receivers first, then we'll come back to that. Anquan Boldin, Q, was a wide receiver from 2010 to 2012. Boldin played just 3 seasons in Baltimore and finished 8th in receiving yards in franchise history. 3 seasons and 8th in receiving yards. So that's telling me we ain't had no receivers since, 95 really? No dog number 1. I'm the guy. Throw me the ball and I'm going to make it happen. We ain't had that guy yet. But during his impact during the 2012 season, and specifically the Super Bowl run, was epic. Now, what I want to speak on that is, because we talk about how good Joe Flacco was in that Super Bowl run. He threw some balls that should have been interceptions that Q came down with. He threw some balls that should have been interceptions that Q either came down with or knocked them away. But it's not in the stat sheet, so no, I'm not knocking Joe. I'm just pointing that out. He had 22 catches for 380 yards and 4 touchdowns in the 2012 postseason, which is great. Which is great. He was also a quiet but strong leader during some of the team's finest years. I agree. So because of the lack of number one we had, we got to put guys in there that was here for a short time. And Q was on the downside of his career when he came, or right in his prime, headed toward that downside when he came. But he still gave us great years, and I appreciate him for that. So I don't disagree with Q. Steve Smith Sr., another guy that had a whole nother career somewhere else before he came here. Like Bolden, Smith just played 3 seasons in Baltimore, and then they weren't on the same team at the same time. Q was gone, and Smith came, what's this, 3 years later? He came in 14, Q left in 12. So they weren't on the team at the same time. But like Bolden, Smith just played just 3 seasons in Baltimore. But his style of play, personality, and impact left a lasting impression. Smith made it clear who was the alpha on the field. So Smith might have been the only guy that I just referenced that was like, look, throw me the ball, I'm going to make it happen. But we only had him for 3 years. Smith was that guy. And again, he was right at the peak or headed down in his career. And he still gave us 3 solid years. Like Bolden, Smith played just 3 seasons in Baltimore, but his style of play, personality, and impact left a lasting impression. Smith made it clear who the alpha on the field was. He lit a fire on the Baltimore's offense with his physicality and competitiveness. Smith topped 1,000 receiving yards and caught 6 touchdowns in his first year as a Raven after 13 seasons in Carolina. So let's just say Steve Smith was 22 when he came out. He was 35 when he came to Baltimore. He might have been younger than when he came out, but let's just say he was 20. He was 33 when he came to Baltimore. And we know in NFL terms, that's a lot of wear and tear on a guy. Most NFL careers last 2 to 4 years. But then suffered an Achilles injury the following season. He returned for 1 more year and proved he wasn't going out on an injury after posting 799 receiving yards and 5 touchdowns in 2016. So we had that good first year. Then he got hurt. Then, with the Achilles. Then he came back just to prove that he wasn't done. And I think he finished his career. I think 16 might have been his last year playing, I think. Like, total, I think. But for lack of better, options, I don't see how you could leave Steve Smith off this thing. Now comes the tight ends. But let me do this. Let me go look up Derek Mason's stats. Let me do that. Let me see if I can do that in another window. No, I can't do it because y'all will see. Derek Mason, Baltimore Ravens. Because I haven't done this pre-stream or whatnot, so I'm doing it right here live with you so I can look at his numbers and see if he got a legit beef. All right, stats. Pro Football Reference. That's where we're going. That Pro Football Reference pretty reliable. So Baltimore, Mason was from 2005 to 2010. 2005 to 2010. Let's see if I can add up these receptions in my brain. Ooh, snap. Mason had 100 catches in a year. So he had 86, 68, 103, 80, 73, 61, and then his last year, I don't know if that's with completely. It's 2 teams. So it's Houston and the Jets. So, ooh. And his yards. Let me make sure I get his yards right. 1,073, 750, 1,087, 1,030. Derek Mason got legit beef. Derek Mason had legit beef. Just by looking at these numbers. Mason got legit beef. Now, who will we take off this list to put Mason up there? That's the question for your chat box. So Mason does have legit beef based off the numbers. And he had 100+ catch year 1 year. Who would you take off this list, chat box? You take Steve Smith off? You take Anquan Bolden off? Or do you just add a third receiver and put Mason on there? That's what you do. I'm going to make the hard choice. I'm going to say we take one of these guys off. I'm gonna say you gotta take Steve Smith off. You gotta take Steve Smith off, especially because he had that year of injury. Then that his last year was okay. You gotta take Steve Smith off. So you should have had Q and Mason as your all-time Ravens receivers. Much as I love Steve Smith and love this game and his quote "Ice up, son," I think you gotta take Steve Smith off this list and put Derek Mason there. That's my 2 cents on it. Somebody else just agreed with me. He said he'll take Steve off just because Q got a ring. It's crazy. I'll take Steve Smith off and put Mason in there. Everybody's saying take Smith off except for Garnett. He's saying add 3. But Garnett always like to add. He think more players the better. The more 6'5" corners you got, the better. Let's move on to tight end. Todd Heap. Let's see. Let's think about the good tight ends we had that I can think of. Todd Heap. We had who came after Heap? Crap. That ended up getting hurt. Oh, who came after Heap? I can't even think about it. But we had another good guy that came after Heap also. But let's read this about Heap. Heap is second on the Ravens all-time receiving list with 5,492 yards. Only trailing Derek Mason. Another reason Mason should have been on there. He's an all-time receiver in Ravens history. Hollywood gonna break that. And is the leader in franchise receiving touchdowns with 41. Heap was the Ravens' go-to target for much of his decade in Baltimore. A reliable pass catcher who sacrificed Pitter. That's what I was thinking about, Pitter. A reliable pass catcher who sacrificed his body and time, again, to move the chains or find the end zone. He was a common refrain at M&T Bank Stadium. I think this is a no-brainer. I was thinking about Pitter earlier, but Pitter wasn't healthy enough. Shannon Sharp wasn't there long enough. He wasn't with Baltimore long enough, even though his impact was huge when he was there. If there was a number 2 on this list, I would go with Shannon over Pitter. Even though Pitter probably has longevity, but Shannon's impact on that Super Bowl year was crazy. Was crazy. Blocking and receiving. And that ricochet touchdown he caught bounced off somebody's head and somebody kicked it and then he caught it and went to the house. So Shannon would be number 2, but I don't disagree with Heat being here at this spot. I can do with that. All right, moving on. O-line. I think our O-line is gonna be pretty easy to agree with. J.O., Hall of Famer, the Ravens' first ever pick. Him and Ray Lewis set the bar for excellence early on. Arguably the best left tackle to ever play the game. EVER. He was a blend of a gargantuan 6'9". I didn't know he was that big. 345 pounds. Uncanny mobility, smarts, physicality, and technique. He seemed graceful and yet dominant at the same time, making it look easy over his long career that would have been even more decorated had not been for a toe injury. J.O. was a beast. Eric Dixon, you mean Ed Dixon? Jonathan, you mean Ed Dixon? Oh, Eric. I think it's Ed Dixon. Not Eric, I think. But being back to J.O. J.O. was special, man. He was poetry in motion. He was tough. He was physical. He was graceful. He was a dog that I think more so led by example than by yapping. No quarrels with me, man. J.O. one of the greatest of all time. Should be on this list. Got the young buck up here next. Ryan Stanley. 2016 to current. Stanley has become one of the best left tackles in football. I mean, we got to pay him soon. Reaching his first Pro Bowl and All-Pro honors last season. A perfectionist of his technique and a gifted athlete. Stanley was a critical piece of protecting Lamar Jackson during his MVP season and paving the way for multiple rushing records. At 26 years old, he's still an ascending player. He's still going up. I would agree with that. Stanley can't get better. That's why he's going to command the type of dollars that hopefully we pay him. Hopefully we pay him. Because as he gets better, and as Lamar slows down and starts to throw better and stay in the pocket a little bit more, we're going to need a guy that can secure that blind side. Definitely. That's that, and no pun intended based off of the other guy. But we're going to need a guy that can secure his blind side. All right, moving on. So that's 2 of the O-linemen. Number 3, another no-brainer. Marshall Yonder. Just retired. Probably one of the best left tackles ever. Let me read what they say. An 8-time Pro Bowler and potential future Hall of Famer, Yonder embodied what it meant to play like a Raven. The right guard was a no-nonsense grinder who maximized his farm boy strength and physical gifts to control the line of scrimmage. Yonder retired this offseason after 13 years in the league, still at the top of his game, most definitely. And what I'll never forget about Yonder's post-career presser, he talked about how much fun it was to be in an offense that ran the ball so much. He said he had rarely had that much fun playing the game because of the way they ran the ball and the way he was able to come off and pound people. And then we didn't ask him to pull a lot, which was not his strong suit. His strong suit was strength, leverage, technique. So we didn't ask him to pull a lot. So he get a lot of down blocks and a lot of climbing to linebackers, off down blocks, a lot of double teams with the center. So he basically did what he loved, was able to maul people and open holes. And Bozeman was a guy pulling a lot. So, he pulled some, but the majority of the time it was Bozeman pulling and Marshall Yonder blocking down, knocking folks' heads off. Hated to see him go, but I understand. 13 years in the NFL, especially in the trenches, it takes a lot on the body, and he doesn't look like this picture right now at all. At all. Moving on. Kelechi Osemele. And I tried to find somebody to replace Kelechi, but I just couldn't. Because those 3 that I put up there first were obvious choices. And what Kelechi did, he was good over there. He was good over there. Him and Yonder, opposite each other, was a formidable force during the time when we were run heavy and play action heavy. They were a formidable force, and they did their thing. I think Kelechi was just a cap casualty. That's what I'm talking about. Cap casualty. And we just couldn't keep him. And then this next guy is, I read this about Osemele. Osemele was an instant starter for the Ravens, helping them win Super Bowl, whatever Super Bowl that was. First as a right tackle, then as a left guard, where he shined the brightest. He was a physically dominant player, especially in his final 2 seasons in Baltimore. Went to 2 Pro Bowls and with the Oakland Raiders. Went to 2 Pro Bowls with the Oakland Raiders after departing in free agency. I said free safety. Tripping. All right, Matt Burke. Another guy that does not look like he looks on this picture almost instantly. At center. A longtime Minnesota Vikings, was a key free agent signing that helped gel Baltimore's offensive line. That was huge. That was a huge reason for the offensive success in the Super Bowl run. Burke was a rock in the middle, adept at recognizing defenses and helping a young Joe Flacco shine. I don't know if we have a guy on the roster yet that can give us what Burke gave us when he came over. But Burke was a let's see. He was a stabilizing force. He basically, I want to say he made the line go, but he jailed it. He helped it jail and make sure they all ran as one and not 5 individuals. If that makes sense. He was the conductor. He was the conductor of the O-line. Making sure everybody picked up the blitzes and knew who and identified mics and all that good O-line type stuff that a lot of y'all don't know about. All right. I want to bring Osemele back after the Jets cut him to replace Yonder. Burke was the Peyton Manning. Yes, that's great analysis right there. Burke was the Peyton Manning of centers. Omaha. I agree. Next, going to defense. There's some killers on this side, boy. It was. I forgot about this dude, Michael McCreary. McCreary was one of the best free agent signings in Ravens history, and he became one of the team's top pass rushers on the greatest defense of all time. McCreary still ranks 3rd in career sacks, 51, in franchise history and went to 2 Pro Bowls as a Raven. I completely forgot about this dude. Completely. Like, when I saw this, I'm like, oh, I forgot about him. Really did. That defense was lights out. 10 points, game over. I think Ray said that. Give us 10 points, game over. Next, one of my personal favorites, Haloti Ngata. Defensive tackle from 2006 to 2014. Ngata clogged up the middle of the Ravens defense for a long time, freeing up those around him to make plays. He made a bunch of plays himself, too, logging 25.5 sacks, 5 interceptions from the D tackle position. 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 from the D tackle position. And 6 forced fumbles. Perhaps most notably, the big man broke Ben Roethlisberger's nose during a primetime game. Ngata was a quiet leader who could wreck games. Most definitely. Most definitely. There are 2 guys that Ray Lewis should be thankful for his Hall of Fame career. And not to say, and this is no knock on Ray, but Haloti Ngata and Goose. Thank them 2 guys because they kept people occupied so Ray can go around and create havoc. Alright, next on this is the aforementioned Goose, Tony Saragusa. Defensive tackle from 1997 to 2001. Saragusa was anything but quiet. One of the Ravens' best and funniest characters in franchise history. Saragusa became a fan favorite. He was a favorite of his linebackers because Goose swallowed up so many blockers, joining Sam Adams. Oh, I forgot about Sam Adams. To create an absolute wall up front for the Ravens Super Bowl 35 defense. That was nearly impossible to run against. I think that's 35. It was nearly impossible to run against. So, you had Sam Adams that was wide. You had Goose that was wide. You probably couldn't even see Ray Lewis behind him, too. Because Ray, 5'10", maybe? You probably couldn't even see Ray Lewis behind him, too. Ball so hard, you up next. Moving to outside linebackers. T. Sissel. Suggs is the Ravens' career leader in sacks with a whopping 132.5 in purple and black. He was consistently dominant over his entire career in Baltimore, earning 7 Pro Bowl trips and a Super Bowl ring in 2012. Suggs is an athletic freak, but what made him special was his vibrant personality. He loves playing the villain, and he was intelligent. I love seeing Suggs on TV with other guys and not conforming to what would be good on TV. He went after the TV personality, went after Skip, went after anybody that kind of didn't agree with his narrative and whatnot, and I loved it. I loved it. Suggs, you know who Suggs reminds me of? Dennis Rodman. Dennis Rodman. He's this off the beaten path type of guy, but when you get between the lines, it's business. It's business. He's this off the beaten path type of guy, but when you get between the lines, it's business. And Suggs' play speaks for itself. Just look at the numbers. All right, going on. Peter Bolwell. Peter Bolwell, another guy on that defense. One of the best after getting after quarterback. Bolwell is second on the Ravens all-time sack list with 70. So we got 1 and 2. Suggs was 1, Bolwell with 2. He was the NFL Defensive Rookie of the Year in 1997, giving Baltimore a foundational pass rusher to build around. So in those early drafts, you had J.O., Ray, then Bolwell came shortly thereafter. And so then we're gonna bump on down to the GOAT. Do you need to say anything about this dude? Is there anything I need to say about this guy? I'm gonna look in the chat box while y'all look at it. He could also set the edge. There'll never be another Ngata. I don't think so. Ngata was the best tackle in the league for years. I agree with that. Campbell was the best interior rusher we've had since Ngata. Probably. No, ain't no probably. He is going to be the best interior rusher since we've had since Ngata. Campbell, even though I know his time with us is not going to be as long as Ngata's, could probably be better than Ngata as far as an interior pass rusher. Did they leave Jamie Sharper out? I think so. I don't know. We'll see in a second. And y'all probably already seen this anyway, but I'm personally rooting for AD because AD went to Southern Miss. And my undergrad degree is from Southern Miss. So I'm personally rooting for AD to hit this. I think this is AD's head down here. But no, that's CJ. CJ Mosley. Mosley went to 4 Pro Bowls and 5 seasons with the Ravens, anchoring the unit after Lewis's retirement. He was a do-it-all linebacker for Baltimore before signing with the Jets. Mosley came downhill and was one of the most memorable plays in Week 17 interception of Baker Mayfield that sealed the AFC's 2018 North title. And I remember watching that play. There's a picture somewhere on my Twitter. My wife took it. I didn't know she took it at the time. I had my Ravens blanket just huddled up on the couch like just shaking. Like, come on. And then when CJ picked it off, I just threw the blanket and it almost went up in the ceiling fan. But that was a fun time, man. CJ is now playing for the junior varsity Ravens in New York, the Green New York team. So wish him some sort of luck, but not much. But as far as interior linemen, CJ Bar Scott could be in the mix for this. I think because him and Ray was a formidable duo. But as far as interior linemen, I don't know anybody else other than Ray, CJ, maybe Bar Scott that did it for Baltimore. CJ probably got more longevity than Bart did, so that's probably why he on this list. All right. So yes, Jamie Sharper is off and AD is off. So neither one of them made it. AD didn't make it or Jamie Sharper didn't make it. All right, Chris McAllister. Chris had all the tools in Baltimore's first lockdown cornerback in team history. He's one of the NFL's best for several years, going to 3 Pro Bowls from 2003 to 2006. He had 26 interceptions in 10 seasons as a Raven. When opponents dared to throw at him, McAllister often made them pay. Yeah, McAllister did a lot of route jumping because he knew the ball was coming out early. Because you had them dogs up front. You cannot hold the ball. Early 2000 Ravens, late 1990s Ravens, you could not hold the ball and throw deep versus them. The only deep pass you could hope to get was a quick 3, throw up a fade. That was the only pass you could hope to get, because like a deep cross or a deep post where you got to drop 5 and 8 steps. By the time you got to that 8 step, somebody was coming free. Somebody. And there wasn't a lot of zone being played back then, because Chris was locking folks down, and you had somebody else that played a little man. Then you had your safeties that could cover too. So it wasn't a lot of zone. It was, okay, I'm gonna blitz you and hit you in your mouth, and you can throw it if you want to, but it's gonna have to come out quick. Next up, other cornerback, Hump. Young stud, Hump. 2017, the current Humphrey's career is just getting started, but he's already established himself as one of the best corners in the NFL. He went to his first Pro Bowl last year after logging 3 interceptions, 2 forced fumbles, 3 fumble recoveries, and 2 touchdowns. Humphreys is a dogged cover corner who plays with physicality of a linebacker. Agree. So since we on Humphreys, what I want to do now is, how many guys in the league are better than Humphreys right now? Like we can all together say they're better than Humphreys, or just as good. Gilmore. Gilmore's up there. Ramsey. Gilmore, Ramsey. I think them two are up here. Then you got a ton of guys right there. I think Marlon is with this set that's right here. I think Marlon and Peters is with this set that's right here. You got Gilmore and Ramsey. And Sherman probably used to be up here, but I think Sherman down here with Marlon and a host of other guys. There's a host of other guys. I really do think it's 2 guys I just said. Ramsey, Gilmore. Then there's like 7 or 8 guys right here. Jair Alexander, the guy from Green Bay, I think is right there. It's a ton of guys right here on this level that's like a notch below them too. And this notch right here ain't bad now. This notch right here ain't bad. And I think we got 2 guys in this notch. 2. We got Peters and Humphreys on this. And this is a small difference in maybe one attribute or one trait or something that separates these 2 tiers. And I think we got 2 guys in that second tier, which is good. But Marlon being up there already is good. need to say nothing. Don't think I need to say nothing. I really don't think I need to say much about this guy. Just know, I will say this, just know, had it not been for an untimely death, the two best safeties ever to play the game would have came from the same college. Ed Reed and Sean Taylor. I'm not going to even read this, whatever this is about Ed Reed, because it don't do it enough justice. My lasting impression of Ed Reed is not even as a Raven. It's as a Miami Hurricane. He's hurting. They losing at halftime. He come in there and he say, Joaquin said dominate. No, he said, don't ask me if I'm hurt. Oh, no, he said, don't ask me if I'm all right. I ain't all right. I'm hurt. Joaquin said dominate, and we ain't doing this shit. Let's go. And every time I see that, I get goosebumps. It make me want to go and make one play. And that's all I got, one play left. But maybe go one play because I don't have it anymore. But that's where the term athlete comes from. Make sure you get your athlete shirt too. Link in the description. Garnett Wiz got one. Vice Lombardi got one. I got 2 or 3. There's other guys that got them with pictures out there. Make sure you get you one athlete. Check it out. Moving on. Rob Wilson. After a great career at corner for the Steelers, he came over to the right side. Hall of Fame, was a hired gun for the Ravens, but made a huge impact in his 4 years in Baltimore. Longtime Steeler, notched 20 interceptions in purple and black, and was a leader of the secondary in the Ravens' 2000 defense. His influence, as well as Shannon Sharp's on a young Ray Lewis, helped create a legend. I agree. Helped create a legend. So, Rob Wilson, in his second career as a DB, moving to safety for Baltimore, was good. Rob Wilson was good. GOAT kicker right here, J Tuck, doing a bop. GOAT punter right here, Sam Cox, however you say it. I still mess that up every time. And GOAT long snapper, Morgan Cox. Jacoby Jones, specialist. This is not even close. I don't think we had a return more than 30 or 40 yards since he left. Jacoby was the GOAT, man. That might have miracle, but that ain't got nothing to do with return specialist. My thing is, he should have ran over Mike Tomlin. That's what he should have did. I'd have dropped my shoulder on Mike Tomlin. I ain't score anyway. I'd have, bam! Oh, my bad, coach shouldn't have been on the field. But that's me. That's my 2 cents. That's my 2 cents. All right, so that's the last guy. Let me see what's in this chat box before we get up. 43 minutes. I ain't expect to be on here this long. I appreciate y'all for rocking with me, though. We got 29 people watching. Our running back is not top 10. Our running backs are not. What you talking about, Jonathan? Let me go back and see what's going on. Let's see what's going on. Oh, we talking about cornerbacks up here. Okay. I forgot about Samari Rowe. Yep, Samari Rowe was good. Darryl Smith held it down for a while before Mosley. Yep, Ed Hartwell did too. I remember Ed more so for Real Housewives than playing with Baltimore. Zach Orr wasn't around long though. Yeah. Frank Walker was always a PI waiting to happen. So, favorite music since. Do you think Marlon is just as good as Ramsey? Is that what you're saying? Ramsey was not so good last year. Gilmore and Tre'Davious. Tre'Davious is good from that's the Bills. That's the guy from the Bills. Marlon gets better every year. Yeah, I agree. Because he's young too. Ramsey is 4th. Garnett thinks Trey is top 3. I have to go back and look at the list. But I think that's why I said those tiers. I think it's those 2 guys and then like 6 other guys just like right below them. Like right below them. QB and safety, or just QB. Go past. Best safety in history up. Sean T. Greatest safety ever. Sean Taylor broke my heart. Still a Skins. I think he said Skins fan just then. And preach. I don't know what I was preaching about, but I probably was. Stepped on his foot to clip for my cleat. Every time I see that play, I wish he ran over Tomlin. Yeah, most definitely. Tomlin had no god doggone business being on the field. He should have put that 12 that's on his. Let me see if I put my mouse up here. This 12 that's right here. He should have laid it on Mike Tomlin back. And then he probably still got a penalty too. Should have laid that 12 on his back. Oh, I ain't see you, coach. My bad. But yeah, that's what it is, man. So, hey, this is the Ravens top 25 list. My 2 cents. Your 2 cents. Now we got 4 cents. Unless you're from Bruh, man, we got 4 cents. But Bruh, man, is a trip. Bruh, man, my wife was watching it the other day in the episode when Bruh, man took Martin CD player. Oh, it was so funny. Martin did the New Jack City scene, which is probably one of the greatest scenes in sitcom. With the plush dog, and that's crazy. But if you ain't watching Martin, you too young. Go back and watch my old Martin clips. But this is Coach Evans signing out for the Ravens all-time top 25. It's a good list. Good list. Good list. If you put that list up against some other teams' top 25, I don't know how well we do offensively, which we got some studs offensively, but you're probably not going to score many points. The other top 25 teams is probably not going to score many points. So if you took like everybody's top 25 and like did it like a Madden, our defense would be lights out. Don't even do it justice. Our defense would be this right here. Lights out. Hey, I'm out, man. See y'all next time. Appreciate you for coming out, rocking with me. Make sure you like, comment, subscribe, share. Get you a athlete t-shirt. Get you a Ravens Roundup coffee mug. Check out the merch. I had a Speed Strength ass whoop shirt from Botch the other day. I don't think it's still in here. There it is. Hold on one second. Got this from Botch. Check it out. He got good merch too. So this is Coach Evans. See you when I see you. Peace. With